So in this problem, we are given a uniform sphere and we need to find the pressure P due to gravitational compression. So this is our uniform sphere, and let's break it into small shells so that we understand how the pressure is appearing. So this condition, this situation is similar to this. So here the layers are circular or spherical, but here we have just straightened out the layers. So let's understand what is pressure here, and then we can similarly the same situation can apply here. So suppose you have these blocks which are kept one over each other. So if you take any one layer, some random layer like this, and we need to calculate the pressure at this layer due to gravitational compression. So that is the pressure due to everything which is above that. But whatever is above it, that eventually becomes normal reaction. So we can say that at this point, if normal reaction is N, then the pressure at this surface is N upon area, where area is the area of this common surface, the surface in contact. And now it's easy to imagine that on the top surface, pressure is going to be 0 because normal reaction is 0. And here the pressure is going to be maximum because not only normal reaction is maximum here, but also surface area is minimum. So now same situation here. You have these layers, and if you take any one layer like this spherical layer, the normal reaction on this spherical layer is always on the outside, just like here. So this normal reaction divided by area of this spherical surface will be the pressure at this surface. So when we write pressure is equal to force upon area, force is not gravitational force, but it's the normal reaction N that's preventing the outside mass to collapse towards the center. Now numerically, if you do calculate F, it will actually come to be the net gravitational force on the outside shell. But when we are writing pressure on the given surface area, then that force is normal reaction. So we can write pressure is equal to normal reaction by area. So now what we need to calculate is normal reaction at a distance r from center. Then we'll be able to find what is the pressure at any point which is at a distance r. Let's do that. So calculating normal reaction. So let's take a one spherical shell of thickness dx, which is at the distance x. So now on this shell, at the bottom of that shell, okay, let's first compare it with, because this situation is similar to understand, it's easier to understand, so then we can compare it with this. So you have again these blocks, and if you take one block, so at the bottom normal reaction, let's say, is n plus dn, and on the top surface normal reaction is n. So n will be downwards and n plus dn is upwards. And on this layer alone, let's say there is a gravitational force dfg. So pressure at this layer is n by a, and because this layer is at rest, all these forces, sum of all these forces must be 0. So now same thing here. So at the top surface of this shell, there is normal reaction n. At the bottom surface of the shell, n plus dn, and there is a gravitational force dfg, which is towards the center. So writing, balancing the forces, n plus dn is equal to dfg plus n, as it is at rest. So forces are balanced. This gives dn is equal to dm into gx, because this dfg is only due to the mass of the shell. Here also this dfg is only due to the mass of this layer. So we have written dfg as dm into gx. Now dm, so that is the mass of the shell, that is rho into volume of the shell, and rho is given by m upon total volume of this whole sphere, because mass of the whole sphere is given as capital M. And g at a distance x, we have already derived, that's a standard result for uniform sphere. So at a distance x, g is given by gmx by r cube. So we put these values, and that will give us dn. We need pressure. So dp, as discussed, is N upon A. So this is the total pressure. So dP will be dN upon A. So dP is dN upon A. We'll put the value of dN here and we'll simplify. To get this, now total pressure will be the integral. So from P to 0, and limits of x will be from small r to capital R. Solve that and get our answer. Now if you're wondering why did we put mod here, because pressure is a scalar quantity. So, but if you put the original limits, you might be thinking why the negative sign is coming here. That is because when we wrote this equation, this is not exactly correct. Because if vectorially dN and dfg are in opposite directions, so dN is up and dfg is down, so there should be a minus sign here. But we are, because p is scalar, we are not bothering about that, and at the end we'll just put a mod here. So limits of p is from p to 0 and limits of x will be from small r to capital R. And that's how we get our answer. All right.